back to our channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Sherry. This is my husband Benjamin, and we are a married couple who have been married for 10 years. We have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. About 2 months ago, we did a video called a 5-person family, 1 income, cutting out the middleman. So we wanted to kind of piggyback off that video and still share some things about how we survive as a 5-person family with 1 outside income. And then we're gonna play like a fun game at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that because we'll actually see how well we know each other. So our first video in the 5-person family, 1 income series was cutting out the middleman. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here. Go check it out because there's a lot of useful information for young families in that video. And we just focused on how cutting out the middleman, being resourceful, and learning how to do whatever it is that your family needs. Just cutting out the middleman so that you can make money, save money, all that good stuff. So in this video, we're going to talk about how following the leader actually helps a large family with 1 outside income, okay? So I know a lot of the ladies probably like, girl, follow the leader. But knowing that there is 1 chief is very important in staying afloat financially and just having a healthy family and a healthy relationship. The reason why I'm starting off talking about this topic is because it's something that's very hard for a lot of women to do. They don't know how or aren't willing to submit to their husband and really just let them flourish in that role of being a leader. And I'm telling you guys, this is what works for us, and I mean, it's a proven fact in our culture, but I'll just say this is what works for us. But letting the man really actually be the head in a family, you cannot lose in doing that. And also, if you're a family with a single mom or a single dad, your kids being able to understand that there is a leader, they are not in charge. When people know their role, that helps the family to function so much better.
I'm Benjamin. A lot of y'all know me, but if you don't, I am a husband and a father of 3 children. So, a long time ago, I did not understand my role as a man, as a leader. I actually used to take a lot of cues from her and people that we used to see or have relationships with. And it wasn't until I bumped my head so many times that I had to come to the understanding that I was a man and my family was going to go as far as I let them. So once I started taking that seriously, the Most High began to bless me and what I was doing. My wife gave me respect, my children gave me respect, and we continued to flourish. And that's what brought us up to the point of doing this video.
A leader has to be worthy of being a leader, and the people that they're leading have to understand their roles as well. So like the children, they understand our roles. Not only do they understand that dad is the leader, they understand that mom and dad are unified. So they know that they cannot separate us. Even if we don't agree on something, we don't show them that we don't agree on something. So it's just so important that each individual in the family understands the roles and there are no divides, because a lot of times, y'all know, in households, it's like the kids can ask dad and he says no, and then they ask mom and then mom will say yeah. Those seem like little insignificant things because as women, we're the more compassionate vessel, but that really does play a huge role in the function of the family. When the kids know, like, we can get in there and we in between these parents and get what we want. So it's so important for the children to know their roles as well. Even with like finances, I find like, all right, I'm gonna just be completely transparent in this video. I looked at him like, I was gonna say this, but I'm gonna be completely transparent. I mean,
transparency is good.
Yeah, this is us. So like, for instance, I know I may get a lot of backlash for this. A lot of women may not agree, but I don't know the exact dollar amount that's in our bank account. And I don't care. Because it is not my job to care or make sure that we have enough to live the life that we live. Okay, do I do things to contribute to what we have? Yes. But the things that I do to contribute to what we have, they are things, gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, that I am allowed to do and have time to do, and they just so happen to bring in a source of income. So our bank account as a whole, like down to the dollar and the cents and the amounts, I don't know and I don't care. Like, of course I know roundabout figures, I know where we are, I know his salary, I know all those things, but I don't focus on every single week or every 2 weeks when we get paid, or when we get money coming in, I don't check it and be like, oh, this is how much money in the bank account, because I don't care. That's not my job. Like, that's not my job to know those things. But in me not being the type of woman who's always worried about the money, I get whatever I want. I always have what I need to do what I need to do for this family, and he trusts me that if I say I need a certain amount, it goes both ways. He's not like, oh, why you need that? What you need that for? Like, you have to have that trust and understand those roles, because he knows that if I ask for $3,000, I'm not asking for $3,000 to buy $3,000 worth of shoes. So he doesn't have to say, oh, what you doing with that? Or we're like, no, this is what I need, because we need things around here. So it's just being comfortable enough in yourself, women, to submit. Like, now, if you are the stronger vessel financially, like with numbers and things like that, by all means, like, girl, do your thing. Because some men, they're not good with numbers. They'll be spending, and then you guys are going under. But he's great with numbers. Like, he's great with all those type of things, and that's not my strong suit. So we understand our strong suits.
It's all about priority. And if there's a woman who's like feeling some type of way right now, we understand and we respect all of our sisters, and we would never subject them to a lesser role. But it's about priority. For instance, if there's an intruder coming into your house and it's a two-parent household, would you want the woman to go try to stop that intruder? Now, that may be a bad example to you, but it's a man. A man has a certain role to fulfill within his family. For my family, I take care of the finances. I provide whatever it is that we need to function. I bring it to her. Her role is to make something out of it. She's more creative than me. She's more witty than me. She's very intelligent. She's resourceful. So why would I take that role from her when she's better at it? My role is to bring something home. Her role is to make something out of it. And it's a beautiful thing at the end of the day. I don't have to worry about everything. She doesn't have to worry about everything. She plays her role to the best of her ability, and I play mine to the best of my ability. And then we transfer that energy to our children, and they play their role. It's literally a family business, and that's what we want to convey to you all. That priority, role, and taking ownership in what you've been blessed to do, it really makes the family flow.
I think a lot of people are afraid to say in a relationship that everything is not 50-50, because they feel like if they admit that, then something they want will lack. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing that couples, you have to acknowledge that everything is not going to be 50-50. I know a lot of people go into relationships and marriages like, well, this needs to be 50-50. In reality, everything is not going to be 50-50. Like, for instance, I have a daughter. That's not 50-50. I'm more hands-on because that is my daughter. I'm the role model for her. We have 2 sons. It's not 50-50. He takes more of a leadership role when it comes to things with our sons because he's a man. So if a newborn baby is crying at night, more than likely, I'm gonna get up and change the diaper and feed her. He may get up with me, talk to me, but I would be lying if I said we have a schedule, like now it's your turn. Like, by default, all the time it's my turn. A lot of women won't like that either. But it's always his turn when it's time to go. I don't be like, okay, it's my turn to go to work.
It's just basically dysfunction and competition, and that's what we want to shine a light on. It doesn't have to be like that. Learn your role and play it. I don't compete with her. She doesn't compete with me. She has certain things that she does great, like cook. If you haven't seen her cook on Solid 7 channel, you should definitely go through and check out some of the cooking videos. I can't cook, so why would I feel some type of way that I have to wait on her for food? Like, if I jumped up and said, I got it, or it's my turn, the food that we would eat would be disgusting. So I let her play her role, and that's not an olden day role. That's literally what brought us over. Shout out to the grandparents, the great grandparents, the moms and dads who showed their family, their children functionality. That's what got us to where we at. Now we trying to break away because we have this new paradigm that the woman can be all and do all, and that's cool in some cases. But if you could do it the way that functions or brought us over, you should try that, because it actually works and it gives you peace of mind at the end of the day.
There's freedom in knowing your role.
Do you know yours?
So following the leader is a major way that we function successfully as a 5-person family, but one income. And when we say one income, we mean one job where we're hired by someone else. So I probably shouldn't say one income, one outside stream of income, okay? So when you are a growing family, you should always be pursuing other ways to bring in other streams of income. That's another major way that we function successfully, because his role is to provide the resources for me to do things and build things for our family to pursue other avenues and streams of income.
I think we might have said it in the last video, but look at it like this. If I'm the person who goes out to bring home the bacon, as they say, someone is always with my children, nurturing my children, protecting over my children. And when you have that type of oversight over your life, you can be in control of where you're trying to go. So like she said, I go out and I bring something back, and it's given to her to not only make something happen for herself and produce a stream of income, but also position my children to do the same thing. So it's like the family is literally working as a unit wherever we're at to get away from the secular job. You know, we really want to cultivate what we have here so that we can be a one family unit. Everything we do should be first to please our Creator, and secondly to provide for ourselves.
A lot of the things that we are talking about, we have learned through trial and error, literally. We are not saying this stuff because we've always had this mindset, we've always had the perfect family, marriage, or relationship. These are things we have learned from bumping our heads, making mistakes, and making dumb decisions. However, I think that your past mistakes play a big role in why a lot of people don't come forward to help others, because they feel less than because of what they have been through or what they have gone through. Like, we are able to share these things because they were a lesson to us. They have taught us. Like, I don't even use the word mistake anymore, because things that I have been through, they weren't mistakes, they were lessons. Like, lessons that have taught us, and we're able to share these things because we've literally come from having nothing as a family to being a functioning family and functioning adults. So we don't share these things because we know everything. We share these things because we have gone through things that have taught us what not to do.
And if you're one of those people who watching this out of curiosity, and you may have your cat eye out on us like, well, who are y'all still? We are a young family who knows our worth and is willing to work for everything in life that we want. We know who we are. We know what we want to do in life, and we know how to get there. And we're just sharing things that we've learned that brought us up to this point. What we don't want to do is kind of discredit what we don't know. We want to be a people who can actually learn from others. And that's what we're trying to convey today. We're not saying we're perfect. We're not saying we never made mistakes or messed up or we know it all. But we know us, and we know what we're trying to do. And the whole goal is to be a blessing. So the things that we've learned that have brought us literally from nothing to where we are now, we're just trying to share with y'all. And we hope it's a blessing to you all like it was to us.
I am a stay-at-home mom. My children are homeschooled. I'm a homeschool mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I work from home. The things that I work on from home, however, are our own family business endeavors. So technically, that's why we say one income. But if you are a two-parent working household, that does not mean you cannot know your role and respect the leader and have roles in your family. I haven't always been a stay-at-home mom, so there is a way that a two-parent income household, you could still function properly in those roles, and women respect the leader who you have chosen to lead yourself and your family, regardless if you work or not.
Another thing that has helped us get to this point is having a mediator, if you will. And I don't mean a secular person or somebody else that you know and you go for counseling. Like, what is it that you subscribe to that's going to be the voice of reason outside of your emotional feelings when you enter a situation? Say, she may have a perspective, I may have a perspective, but what does our law, statutes, and commandments tell us we should be doing? How we should be living? How we should look at a situation? You always want to have a third person, if you will, within your union to be the end all be all. Like, for instance, if we had a board back here and we had all our life mandates, and she feels a way about it and I feel a way about it, at the end of the day we gotta go to the board and say, well, what does the board say? And that has to be the final decision. And that's the culture that we subscribe to. So you might want to implement that as well, so you're not bumping heads all the time if you do have a two-parent household or situation.
Yeah, that's also a big thing in having a functioning family, just like learning how to communicate. People say that a lot, like the number one thing in a relationship is communication. That is true, but it's true. Like, you cannot just say it and not be willing to do it. Like, we had to teach each other how the other one communicates. Like, it's like language. People say love language, but it's just the language of a person. So it's just like if I was Chinese and I had to teach him my language, and he was Japanese and he had to teach me his, like, I had to teach him Sherry and he had to teach me Benjamin. That's not to say that you're trying to change the person. You're just helping the person better understand how to receive what you're saying. And one thing, I'm getting off subject, but I feel like this is a good topic.
Let's rock. Let's let it roll.
One thing that has helped our marriage so much is looking at intent and not so much action, right? So like, Benjamin is a very sarcastic person, for instance. So when he talks to me, I'm used to it by now, but I always used to like be like, what? Or why you had to say? Like, I was focused on how he was saying what he was saying, not what he was saying. I was focused on the action and not the intent of the action, because you need to look at intent and effort. If the intent and the effort is there, for instance, if I ask him, you know, I would like to see you help me out more around the house with laundry. This is an example because I don't want him to help me. I don't really care if he helps with laundry.
Even though I do.
Even though he really does. But, so say for instance, he did not help around the house at all. And then I had to talk with him about it. And then he started to help around the house 50% of the time. Just because he's not helping out 100% of the time, I cannot get upset like I was when we first had the conversation. I have to look at, I talked to him about something, I asked him to do something.
And he heard you.
And he heard me. Yeah, and we're progressively getting to a better place than we were. So the intent is there because he heard me and he listened to me, and the effort is there because at first he wasn't helping at all, and now he is helping. Like, it's so important to look past the surface of things to have a healthy relationship.
And lastly, it's so important to gauge your relationship off of your relationship.
Yeah.
We oftentimes look at other people and try to hold our significant other to a standard of somebody else, and that's always a no-go. Every time you compare something to something gotta be devalued.
You're gonna be disappointed.
You know what I'm saying? So
I like that. Some gotta be devalued.
don't ever devalue your spouse, your children, whatever is important to you. You kind of gotta have your own bubble within your own house and work that to be the best it can be. We gotta like turn the social media down a little bit, because we like holding people to standards that really don't exist. People perfectly curate their stories in their life for you to see, and then you be like, well, you ain't doing such and such. That's unrealistic, you know what I'm saying? Work what you got, follow the leader. Who are you following, by the way? You know what I'm saying? That may be something that you want to figure out. You can't just be the end all be all when you had nothing
Make
to do with
sure your
being
leader
here.
is following the right leader.
You had nothing to do with being here, so you got to be subject to somebody. So who are you following first and foremost? Follow them to the T and work to have the best situation for you. I guess we don't. Did you want to throw something else in?
No, that was perfect. I was just gonna say, when he talked about social media, it's so important that you are comfortable in who you are and know who you are, because if you're not, love yourself. If you're not, everything will get your attention and you'll just be all over the place. Like, one thing that people promote a lot on social media as far as relationships is like gift giving. They share gifts that they have been gifted by their significant other, and I'm not knocking that. That's beautiful if that's the understanding you guys have come to, that's your love language. Your spouse like gifts. But if I was an insecure person, that would make me feel some type of way, because my husband doesn't give me gifts like that. He doesn't surprise me with gifts. That's what I should say. Because I'm a practical person, I don't like gifts. I don't like surprises. I'm more of a practical person. So I research, I study, I look things up before I buy it. I do not like to be given things that I'm not aware of. He could take that offensively if he's not confident and doesn't understand me and understand our relationship. He could be like, well, I try to do something nice for you and you don't never want it. Like, no, we have come to an understanding that I don't send him out of his way to try to wow me and surprise me. We sit down together and I be like, this is what I've been looking at, this is what I've been researching, I want this. And he lets me know, okay, we got a few other things to do, we can get that, or go ahead and get it. Even if it's things that's just for me, not even concerning the family. I don't like gifts, I don't like surprises. So if I wasn't secure in my marriage and in our relationship, and if he wasn't, we could possibly take offense to that. Like, I could seem ungrateful.
But that's definitely not the case. You're just learning who you are, who your spouse is, loving yourself, loving your spouse, and working to produce the best product. It's a beautiful thing once you get it cracking, I must say.
Yeah. We hope you guys enjoy those few inside tips about how we function as a family. But I found this game that I thought, we're all in quarantine, everyone's at home. Well, they opening up everything back now, so y'all probably outside, but we still in the house because just this how we rock. So I found this cute little fun game that I wanted to play on camera. We have not answered these questions off camera. We don't ever do stuff like this, so I promise we do know and love each other if we get the questions wrong.
Man, we're here now, so let's get to it.
It's a how well do you know each other game, okay? So how we're gonna play is, we're gonna ask a question, and first we're gonna say if we're answering for me or for him. So say for instance, I say, what's my favorite food? If it's my answer, we'll both write down what's my favorite food and see if the answer is the same. Then when it's our time to say Benjamin's favorite food, we'll both write down what we think it is and see if our answer is the same. Y'all understand, y'all smart, that's why y'all here. Alright, so we have these boards here, and oh, they can't be held up. We have these boards here, and we have some markers. You want blue or green? I want pink, but I don't have pink. And this is where we're gonna write our answers down, and we're gonna hold it up at the same time and show you guys what the answer actually is and see if we got them right, okay? Easy enough, like the newlywed game, those type of games. Okay, let me pull the questions up.
Wish me luck, y'all.
The first question is, what am I insecure about? So we'll answer for me first. What am I insecure about?
She cracked to see my thing. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
What did it say? I can't see.
Knees.
Oh yeah,
My knees.
I said my knees. I do not like my knees.
I know my lady. You know what I'm saying?
This gonna be one. See if we get it right. Okay, now we're answering for him what he's insecure about. See if we get this right. That's easy.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. I ain't insecure about much, but
Alright.
I think I know. All right,
You ready?
1, 2, 3. See, I said feet.
And I said nothing. Why you turning it, babe? They can see. Face it forward. Yeah, they can see.
Okay, my bad.
He said his feet. I said nothing.
I said that first though.
Yeah. And that's something that I've learned from him. Like, he sees the bright side about things, so it may be things that he doesn't necessarily love 1,000,000%, but he doesn't let stuff get to him where he's like, I don't like that. I ain't gonna show my knees like how I don't like showing my knees. So.
Yeah, I thought we just had to write something down, so I put the closest thing, but hey, I don't care.
Did he really? He really does it. That's why I'm like, nothing. What is my favorite food? Okay.
Wait.
Why are you turned all over there like
Cause
that?
I don't want you to see my answer.
I'm not gonna look at yours.
Are you
They
sure?
can see if we cheating
Alright,
or not. They'll see me look over at
Alright, let me know.
you.
Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Fried chicken. I said everything else. The sister ain't never met a food she ain't like. Oh, but yeah, no, maybe you might ask that question. I'll hold that on.
Okay. So now we'll be writing what's his favorite food. See if we have the same answer.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's cool. So just start writing in different spaces, you know? Yeah, you doing something wrong. You writing too hard or something. Go ahead.
Hopefully I spelled that right. Alright, 1. Let me know if she cheating, y'all. 1, 2, 3.
Macaroni and cheese. Y'all probably know his.
The people who watch me.
The people who watch our channel, y'all probably was yelling out that answer.
You make some macaroni and cheese right? Why? I eat it all day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay. Next question is, what food do I hate?
What food do you hate?
Like that I just really don't like. Not, and this is not saying things that we don't eat, because there are things that we don't eat.
I can pick a specific thing.
Something that I just don't like, that I be like, ugh, every time about it.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. We ready?
Yeah.
Tell them first, and then let's see if I got that.
Cause I don't know
Oh, you know?
what I feel like that about. Mind blank. What that?
I would say Five Guys.
Oh, that's a restaurant. If we would have said a restaurant.
I asked specifically. I said, is it specific?
Oh, okay.
Because I said before, I ain't never met a food that she didn't like. So that's a restaurant. She hate Five Guys. Oh, and she also hate if you go to get something to eat and it ain't good. No, yeah, I done seen her spaz out about that.
But Five Guys or Burger King fries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that now, but yeah, I had to think of it, cause we don't talk about this stuff, but we know this stuff. Yeah, I do not like burgers, Five Guys burgers or Burger King fries. Gross, disgusting. Okay, what's a food that you don't like? It could be a food, anything. Can you think of that? What I would think? Okay. Not a restaurant. I'm putting a food, so we gotta be in the same line. Something that you eat, yeah. An item that you eat.
I don't eat.
An item of food that you do not like.
Right, I'm ready. That's on you. I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Pickles.
Oh.
Got it.
That's a good way to do it. We just say it, so we don't gotta write the other ones. Okay.
I know her, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't, I be paying attention. You know what the manuscript say.
Okay, so we'll answer this for me now. What's my biggest pet peeve? He write it down and I'll say it, and y'all see if he got it. Tell him when you done writing.
Hey, I usually can spell, but then sometimes I don't hold it against me. Alright, go ahead.
Germs and dirty stuff.
Cleanliness, does that work?
Yes, that works.
She don't play it like that, though.
So would it be uncleanliness or just dirtiness?
Dirty.
I don't know, but
unclean.
like.
She a germaphobe.
But you could be a messy person but be a germaphobe. So I don't think I would be. I don't think I'm a germaphobe. I don't like stuff out of place. I don't like just cleanliness. Like if somebody used the bathroom and don't wash their hands, or walk in my house with your shoes on that you've been walking around at your job,
or sitting
on the
couch
bed
or the bed
with your clothes on from outside.
Yeah.
Be trying to hug me like I love you, but don't take that stuff off. Alright, so a pet peeve of yours, it's my turn to write it, right?
Yeah, okay, I got one. I don't know if you're gonna get it right, but
shoot, I don't know how to spell it. Be all okay.
I would say that she might get. I would say pointless talking.
I was wrong.
But,
Clutter.
yeah, she right.
He doesn't like clutter. Like, for instance, if we come home from the grocery store and this is something that I have, a bad habit that I have gained since we moved. Because my island is so large, I just sit stuff on the island. Like if I come back from grocery shopping, I'll put up the cold items, and then like the pantry items and stuff, I'll just sit them on the counter until I'm ready to do it. And sometimes it's like the next day. So like clutter and stuff that goes somewhere else and it's sitting somewhere, he don't like that.
True that.
But he doesn't like pointless talking, but I guess that didn't cross my mind because
she never do no pointless talking, right?
I ignored the fact that he think I talk too much and I just keep talking. So.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that on camera. My bad, y'all.
Said what on camera?
Sister be talking, the sister be talking.
He give me mouth minutes, y'all. So like, he'll be sitting there and working, and something will pop in my head. Matter of fact, we gotta take them shoes back to UPS. Like that, and I would just blurt it out in the middle of him doing something very important. But so he started giving me mouth minutes, like how the phones back in the day used to 5 minutes on it. And when I talk too much, he'd be like, "You got a mouth minute."
Sus be in the negatives every day.
But I can respect that because I know myself. I'm comfortable with me, and I know I talk a lot. He my best friend, like my everything. So I'm pressing my record. Okay. Oh, that was a pet peeve.
I'm getting hungry, so that's
Okay, come on. What's my favorite TV show?
Be more specific.
Like a sitcom. That what you would say is my favorite TV show.
Oh, I got it.
Or a TV show or a movie.
Nah, this is easy. I got it. TV show. Was she looking, y'all? Alright, she wasn't looking. Alright, go ahead.
Martin.
You know what I mean? Hey, I know it.
How y'all feeling? Martin. Alright, your favorite TV show or movie? Do you have a favorite TV show?
I don't think I have a favorite TV show.
But your favorite movie?
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna get that one either. But let's see. Alright, let's see. I know she ain't gonna get this one, though. Cause I'm very cultured, you feel me? Alright.
It got something to do with culture.
No, I watch a lot of TV back
okay.
in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I done seen a lot of movies, but I'll just go ahead and say it and see what she got. I say Paid in Full. Man, you know
I got it right, B.
Shout out to my man, what he did, Justin. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That's for the boys who come from the street. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Some of y'all ain't never been nowhere.
What's something that always cheers me up when I'm sad?
Food. You ain't have to write that one
What's something that cheers you up when you sad? I can't say it.
Oh man.
Next question.
Yeah, I can't believe you went there.
Well, I mean, because it's the truth. What did we do on our first date?
The first date we went to.
Wait, let's write.
Okay.
Let's write it down. See if we both get the same answer.
Okay.
High school homecoming, IHOP.
I got IHOP and I got the movies.
The movies, yeah.
Okay,
Because,
so let me explain. No, I got it.
okay.
When we met, I was supposed to be going to a homecoming, supposedly to meet this girl, right? So when I get there, she the girl.
How we met, baby, y'all.
She the girl, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't really feeling her brother until we got to IHOP. When she got to seeing how I was moving, how I was talking, how I was conducting myself. You know what I mean? She was on me
Let
at
me
that
tell y'all
point.
why. Let me tell y'all why I won't feel him at first. Because when we were, was you 18 yet or you 17? 17. When we were 17 and I was 16, he looked like this.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
So I felt like, who is this old man? Y'all.
I had the little chin strap, you know what I mean? Like the little line around with the goatee. That was it.
No, he was a little slimmer, but he looked the same. He did not look 17. So I just felt like he didn't look like most of the boys my age. But when we hung out after the homecoming,
She was feeling the brother.
I was right because he didn't act like most of the boys our age either. He was very mature, seemingly very mature for his age. So he grew on me. But at first I was like, who big brother? Well, that was fun, y'all. We did not answer all the questions, but we'll come back and do something like this again because it was real fun. So we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it as far as our tips for having a successful young family. We love you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed. We would love to have you. Make sure you click that like button if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you drop us a comment, you know, and just let us know how you enjoyed the video or say anything you want to say. We love you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next video.
Follow the leader.
When it came crashing down.